today's session. Somebody says that mail, they're not receiving mails sent by Explore support team. Anurag Shanta Swarup. Can you please send a mail to Explore system? Maybe we can reach out to you. Okay. Okay, Mani, over to you. I think you can start the session.
Hello all, good evening. So today we're going to start a demo session of IPA, which is going to happen in next week. So probably everyone would have received a mail already for the same. Before getting to the demo session, I just want to know how many of you have gone through the Explore Java courses? Since our IPA is on Java, how many of you gone through the Java courses?
I hope everybody has gone through, Mani.
Okay. Okay, then great. So let me just share my screen one more time. Hope everyone are able to see my screen, right? Is my screen visible as well?
Yes, Mani, it's visible.
Okay then. So in IPA, there will be two modules, right? So one is MCQ, second one is SPQ. Okay, so multiple choice question and then the code based question. So in the MCQ, okay, there are different kind of sub modules are there. Okay, let me just give you a brief on that. So first, KYT, know your TCS. 5 questions will be asked in that. Next, business skills. There also 5 questions will be asked, and then Unix. So probably these things are already included in the Explore courses. So Unix also 5 questions, SQL 5, PLSQL 5 questions, UI 10 questions, and yes, Java 15 questions. So as you could see, there will be 50 questions will be asked in the MCQ. And in the SPQ, okay, coding questions, there will be 2 questions will be asked. Okay, so one is simple question, second one is complex. Okay, so complex question will be asked based on the OOPS concepts along with array. Okay, so we're not going to cover any collections or any advanced Java over here, only till arrays along with the OOPS concepts. So simple questions. So yes, so it will be like with one for loop along with if conditions. Probably in some cases 2 for loop can be asked. So mostly it will be either it will be come from string manipulations or else any logical questions. But anyway, end of the day, it will consist of for loops and if conditions. Okay, so today we are going to show a demo on the SPQ side. Since MCQ, it's pretty much easy since all these things have been shared already in the Explore courses. So today we are going to focus only on the SPQ side. So let us start with a simple question first. So let me just share my hacker rank. Yes. And one more thing I want to tell you. So whatever the demo I'm going to show today, I'm going to show it in HackerRank platform, but in your actual assessment, you're going to take it in the Ion platform. So you can ask me what is the difference. So more are kind of similar thing. Okay. So there will be test cases. Okay. Where the predefined inputs and outputs will be configured. And for the question, whatever the solution you are writing. Okay. So the compiler will automatically take the input, run your code, and whatever your output it's coming, it will be validated along with the pre-configured expected output. If both outputs are same, then your test cases will get passed. So generally there will be 4 test cases in both simple and complex questions. Okay, which means there are 4 set of inputs as well as 4 set of outputs. Okay, 4 set of inputs and outputs. That's how it has been pre-configured already. So whatever the business logic or whatever the logic you are going to write, it needs to clear all the test cases, which means all those 4 sets are having different kind of inputs. Okay, so whatever the code you are writing or whatever the business logic you are writing, it should clear all the test cases. Then only your entire question will be correct. Otherwise, partially you will get marks based on the test case clearance. Anyway, after this session, we will show you one sample screen on Ion page as well. Okay, then. So this is my simple question. So here they have asked write main method in the class named my class. So hopefully, since you guys have gone through the Explore courses, I don't need to explain what do you mean by classes and all, right? Or do you want me to explain everything from the beginning? Okay, great. So in simple question, only one class need to be created. Okay, you don't need to create multiple classes. Mostly, you don't even need to create different methods as well. Okay, so whatever the business logic or whatever the logical question we have asked, we are asking, simply you can execute it in the main method itself. You don't need to create different kind of methods. Okay, so here they have asked write main method in the class named my class. Okay, so these are pre-configured one, so it will come by default. If not, yes, you can just import the necessary package along with the class. This is where enter your code here, read input from standard inputs, print output to standard output. Yeah, this is where I need to write my logics. Okay, then. So first, next, I have created a class as well as the main method. Now in the main method, read an integer value and print true if it contains at least 3 odd digits, else it should print false. Okay, so it is almost like a simple odd or even question, but the thing is they have asked to read an integer value. From there we need to find how many digits are odd digits. That's what we need to find. So usually question like 12, whether it is odd or even, that's how we have seen the simple Java questions, right? But now what they have asked is even on the 1 2 we need to find whether 2 is odd or even or 1 is odd or even. Okay, so that's what they have asked. Here we need to find how many odd digits. For example, if they are giving 5 digits integer value, as you could see there are 6 values, I mean 6 digits, 1 2 3 4 5 6. So this is an integer value. In this, how many odd digits are there? So manually, yes, obviously we can say 1 3 5. So there will be 3 odd digits, right? So if it contains at least 3 odd digits, then we need to print true, else it should print false. Okay, as simple as that. This is the example they have explained with one example, and they have given a sample input and output as well. So now we need to write logics for it. Okay, so first we need to read an integer value from the user, right? So how can I read the value from a user first of all? So normally if I ask you to declare, yes, so int x is equal to, yes, I can give 1 2 3 4 5 6, yes, simply I can do that. But this time there is no hard coded value. Whenever I'm giving values right away, which means I'm hard coding the value, right? So obviously once you get into TCS, once you get into project, you should not hard code any value. Obviously it should be a dynamic one. So for that we need to get inputs from the user. So for that, which class we need to use? So there is a predefined class to get the get inputs from the user. Anybody wants to give it a try? Yes, scanner class, right? So which is already present in the util package. Yes, we have already imported everything in the util package. So I don't need to import any new package over here. So simply I can give scanner SE equal to new scanner of system dot in. Okay, so I'm creating a object for the scanner to get the input from the system. Okay, so for which we'll be using a scanner class. For that I'm creating an object over here. Okay, so now I need to find the number of odd digits first, then only I can say whether it is greater than or equal to 3. Am I right? So what I'm going to do is simply I'm giving int, let us say yes, count equal to 0. Okay, so this variable is used to take how many odd digits are there. Yes, so now I need to get input from the user, right? So how can I get it? For example, obviously it is a int value, right? So int number equal to, yes, how can I get the value from the scanner object? As I mentioned, scanner is a predefined class. There are multiple predefined methods are there, right? So next double, next line, next int. To get the int value, which method I need to use? Obviously it is next int I have to use. Yes. So now I'm getting one value from the user, right? Yes. Before getting into that, I need to talk about data types, because if you are mentioning like you are focused on other technologies, you aren't focused on Java. So let me just give a simple overview on that as well. Okay. So only the necessary things. Yes, I'm giving an overview. What do you mean by data type? So variable obviously has to store the value temporarily. That is the purpose of variable, right? So obviously to declare a variable, what is the syntax? First data type and then the variable name. Am I right? This is the syntax. Let me just write it in the notepad. Yes. So data type and then the variable name I'll be giving it, right? So what do you mean by this data type? So data type is nothing but what type of value the variable can hold. That definition is known as data type. Okay. So if you are declaring a variable, what type of value the variable can hold? Yes, that definition is known as data type. So there are two different data types on the board. One is primitive data type and non-primitive. So what do you mean by primitive? So primitive data type which actually store the value. Okay. So whereas if it is a non-primitive or reference, so both are same. So non-primitive or reference where it will store the memory address. That is the difference. Primitive data type, straight away the values will get stored over there. So obviously it will be fast and efficient one. So the memory device also that is more efficient one. Whereas in non-primitive it will store only the memory addresses where the values are getting stored. That memory address alone it will be there. Let me just put it with a simple example. Okay, so in your home, if you want to keep some jewels, okay, so obviously you will be keeping it in your cupboards, right? Yes, but you know where your jewels are exactly, right? Because straight away you are storing over there. Okay, just consider that as a primitive, just for understanding purpose. Okay, so whereas if it is a non-primitive, you're going to a bank and then you are just keeping the jewels over there. So they will be simply giving one locker key, right? Where the values are getting stored. That is non-primitive, right? The memory address. That's what where your jewels are stored. Only you will get a address that is known as locker key. Okay, whereas that is non-primitive. Hope this thing is clear for all. Primitive means right away the values will get stored, whereas non-primitive, the memory addresses will get stored. So which means, as an example, yes, right away the jewels are with you, whereas here you will have the locker key, which means where the jewels are there. So primitive and non-primitive. Okay, so in primitive data type, yes, obviously character, int, float, double, all these things will come, whereas in non-primitive objects, array, string, all these things will come under non-primitive. So how to declare a variable? Yes, data type and then the variable name. Okay, so that is what I have initialized with a value as well. Okay, so I have assigned as a default value as a 0. Okay, and next int, which means it is used to get the int value. Whereas if you want to get any string, then string s equal to, sorry, here it should be sc dot. Yes, here sc dot next one. Okay, this is how you will be getting it. If it is a double, then it will be a next double. So as of now, we are receiving only int value, right? So I'm giving int number equal to sc dot next int. Okay, so next I need to iterate one by one. Okay, for that obviously you need to aware of loops. Let me just explain loops quickly. Okay, so what do you mean by loop? So loop is nothing but if you want to repeat the same operation again and again for a specific number of time or specific event, then that logic is known as loop. Okay, so there are three kind of loops are there. One is, what is that? While loop. Second one is do while loop. Third one is for loop. Obviously for each is that is advanced version of for. Okay, these are the basic. So let us start with while then. Okay, so the syntax will be while keyword, or else let me just write it in the Eclipse so that it will be more clear for you. While, and then you need to give a condition over here. Okay, so condition here I'll be having my statements. Okay, so this is the syntax for while loop. Okay, so which means while and then the condition. So condition I can give anything I want. Okay, so for example, I can have, if I want to run the loop for 5 times, yes, I can have it over there. Okay, so before that, let me just show you what is the actual use of loops. Okay, for example, if you want to print 1 to 10, how you will print? So obviously system.out.println of 1. Likewise, I'll be giving etc etc etc, and then I'll be giving 2 and 3 like this. Once I run, yes, 1 to 10 will get printed. But eventually, as you could see, only change will be the values. So the remaining statements are the same thing, right? So for that, why I need to write 10 lines? Actually 10 lines, yes, it won't be a big deal. If you see, yes, 10 lines, yes, I can write it in 30 seconds or 40 seconds, that's fine. What if I need to print 1 to 100? What if I want to print 1 to 1 lakh? So obviously I cannot write all those lines. Am I right? So to overcome that, they have introduced loops. Okay, so simply what I can do is simply I will put it in the while loop. For that, let me just give int I equal to 0. Okay, and then while I need to give a condition, right? So y is less than or equal to 10. And then if I'm giving I, what will happen? Will it get print 1 to 10? Obviously no. May I tell you why? Because the loop, as I mentioned, it will perform the same operation and again and again. But if I run this, as you could see, it is keep on printing 0. As you could see, still the program is running. It became an infinite loop, which means a loop which never ends. Why is that? Because here I have initialized I with a 0. Now I'm checking the condition whether I is less than or equal to 10 or not. Yes, the condition will get true. Then it start keep on printing the value. Okay, there is no increment in the value, right? So obviously there is no need to check the condition again. even after the assessment statement, again if it check the value, still the I value 0, 0 is less than or equal to 10, obviously true. So it will print. Next again it will check the condition. So it will keep on going on, right? So that's why it became an infinite loop. So to avoid that, what I can do is after printing a value, I can use a post increment. Okay, I plus plus, which is nothing but I plus 1. I plus plus is nothing but I plus 1. Okay, so now how it will run? While I is less than or equal to 0. So initially I value is 0, so 0 is less than or equal to 10. Obviously, the condition getting true. With the condition getting true, then the statement will get executed. Now in the system.out.println, it will print I, which is 0. So 0 will get printed. After that, here I plus plus. So before getting to the condition again, the I value becomes 1 now, because I have incremented the I value. So now 1 is less than or equal to 10. Again it will check, it will print the statement which is 1. Likewise it will 2, 3, 4 like that, it will going on. It will go on. Once I becomes 11, it will go on check the condition. Now 11 is less than or equal to 10, obviously no, the condition getting failed, so it will come out of the loop. So this is how the while loop works. So if I run this, yes, this time I will be getting out. Sorry, I haven't saved it. Yes,
Just
as
a
you could
minute,
see,
Mani.
0
Just
to
a minute.
okay.
So candidates, they're posting a lot of questions. All your questions will be answered at the end of the session. Okay? Yeah. Sorry, Mani. Please go on.
No issue. So whatever the queries you are having regarding the session, yes, I will give some time at last. Yes, you can clarify all your queries over there. Is there whether those things are technical queries or other queries?
No, not technical queries, Mani. Other queries.
Okay,
There are
if
few
any technical queries.
there are few technical
Uh,
queries also. You want me to read out?
no, once I complete this, yes, I will take the queries. So.
Okay. Okay, Mani.
Okay. Yes, sorry for that. Yes, this is why. So it will keep, it will print 0 to 10 here. Okay. So next is do while. So as I mentioned here, while condition and then statements, right? And then this is a while loop. Whereas if it is a do while loop, so the syntax will be do and then statements. While closing, yes, again the condition will be checked. Okay, as you could see over here, there is no semicolon at this point, but here we have a semicolon because this is where few people may make mistakes. Okay, then as you could see in the while, the condition will be checked first, whereas in do while it will be checked at last, which means at least the statement will executed at least only once, and then it will check the condition. Okay, that is what do while. So while it is a entry level check loop, whereas do while it is a exit level check loop, because it is checking the condition at the entry level, whereas here it is checking the condition at the exit level. So that's the difference between while and do while. So the same thing. Okay, let me just give 100. If I the same thing, if I want to write it in do, then do, and then system.out.println of y. Here while of I am checking the condition less than or equal to 10. Here the I value is 100. So eventually it is not. Sorry, let me just keep it as yes. Obviously it is bigger than 10. Obviously the statement should not get executed if that is while. Whereas here it is a do while, which means at least statements will executed only once. Okay. So here also I'll be putting the incrementer. So if I run this, as you could see, 100, which means at least loop will run once in do while loop, because even though I value is 100, the condition will be checked at last, right? So system.out.println of I, which means 100 will get printed. After that, I becomes 101. After that only it is checking the condition while I is less than or equal to 10. Obviously it is not, so it came out of the loop by printing only 100. So this is do while loop. And in while and do while, as you could see, the initialization in one line statement, I mean the condition checking in another line, yes, increment or decrement are in another line. Whereas for loop, everything we keep it in a single line. So initialization, semicolon, condition, semicolon, increment or decrement. It doesn't mean that only increment should be there. Yes, obviously, if I want to print 100 to 90 in a reverse order, yes, I can go for the decrement, which is minus minus. So decrement. Here, I'll be giving the statements. So this is the syntax for for. So for initialization, yes, I can have int I equal to 0, and then the condition increment or decrement, and then the statements. So I'll tell you how the loop works first. Okay, the first initialization will be done only once here. Okay, so next, if it is a condition, okay, so after initialization, it will go for the condition, it will check the condition. Once the condition get true, then the statement will execute it, or else it will come out of the loop. So assume the condition getting true, then the statement will execute it. After the statement, it will go for increment or decrement, and then it will check the condition, statement, increment or decrement, condition, statement, increment or decrement. This is how for loop works. So initialization, it will be done only once. Okay, so initialization, condition, and then statement. After that, increment or decrement, condition, statement, increment, decrement, condition, statement. That's how it will roll. Okay, so the same thing, same printing 1 to 10. Yes, we can keep it. So for here, I can give int I equal to 0, semicolon, and then I need to give a condition which is I is less than or equal to 10. Increment or decrement, let me just go for increment. And then here I have the statement which is printing the I value. Okay, now if I run this, 0 to 10 will get printed. So initialization, it will be done only once. After that, the condition will be checked. If the condition get true, it will execute the statement. After that, incrementer condition statement, incrementer condition statement, incrementer condition statement. That's how it will go. So that's all about the loops. So here, if there are 6 digits or 8 digits, okay, based on the user inputs, yes, it will vary, right? So here I can, obviously I need to iterate through each digit, right? So obviously I need to use any one loop. Here I'm going for while loop. So while, so what's the number? Yes, I will store it in a variable called number, right? I'm just checking whether it is greater than 0 or not. Okay, if it is greater than 0, then I'm going to the inside the while. So here what I have to do is, obviously I need to iterate one by one. I need to take each digit and then I need to check whether the particular digit is odd or not. Am I right? If the number of count is greater than or equal to 3, then I should print true. That's my question, right? So how can I get the each digit? That's the next thing. Okay. So for that, I'm going to go for modulus operator, obviously. So int remainder equal to number modulus 10. So which will give a remainder. Am I right? Which will give a remainder. So now, which means the last digit, obviously I'll be getting it. For example, if it is 1, 2, 3, obviously I'll be getting 3 over there, because 1, 2, 3 divided modulus 10, the remainder will be 3, right? Now I need to check whether the particular digit is odd or not. How can I check that? So if, how can I check the odd number? The same thing, right? So is not equal to 0, then I can go for count plus plus here. Okay, so next I need to take the next digit. So for that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide this by 10. So obviously I will be getting the next digit. Okay, so again it will go. So initially it is 1, 2, 3. So 3 I will be getting it. Okay, so 3 modulus 2. Obviously the remainder is not equal to 0. So count plus plus. So it will add 3 as odd. So that is 3 is odd number. So the count will become 1. Next, divided by 10. So I'll be getting only 1, 2. Again, the 1, 2 modulus 2 is not, sorry, 1, 2 modulus 10. I'll be getting the remainder, and then the same operation I'm doing it again and again. Okay. For a few of you, you were mentioning like you're from a non-IT background, all these things, right? So what I'm going to do is, so simply I don't want to waste time by typing it again and again. Sorry, the controls are not working. Just a minute. Yes, there you go. Let me just put it in the Eclipse right away. Yes, so here I already have the same solution. Let me just debug and show it to you so that it will be more clear for you. I'm not sure how many of you know the debugging in Eclipse. So Eclipse is an IDE to work in Java, right? So let me just show you how to debug your code. Okay, first you need to have the toggle or debugging point in any one line where you want to start. So your actual logic starts from int remainder, right? So let me just double click over here. Okay, you just need to double click so that the toggle point will come over here. Now what you have to do is you just need to run it in a debug mode. Okay, so run as, sorry, debug as Java application. Okay, so it started. Since I have the debugging point only inside the while condition, so the remaining code have run already. So here I need to give a input, right? So let me just keep 1, 2, 3. So to make it easy understanding. Okay, once I click on enter, it will ask for whether the debug perspective you want to open. Yes, of course I want to open that. Once it runs, as you could see in the top right side, your number and then the count are there by default, right? So you need to click on F6 to go to the next line. Okay, so now if you once place the cursor, as you could see, 1, 2, 3 is the number which we entered. Okay, it came number as 1, 2, 3. Now it checked whether 1, 2, 3 is greater than 0. Yes, it is greater than 0. It came into the while. Now, so number modulus 10. So it will give us the remainder, right? So once I click on F6, it will move to the next line. As you could see, the remainder is 3, which means it took the last digit, right? So now I'm just checking whether 3 is odd or not. So I'm giving if condition over here one more time. If the remainder is yes, not equal to 0, then that is odd, otherwise it is even, right? So here, which is divisible by 2, it is not divisible by 2. The same thing. Okay. So if it is not equal to 0, I'm just checking it over here. Once I click on F6, because it is not equal to 0, so as you could see, the count become 1 now. Right? Now, initially I took 1, 2, 3. From there, I got 3 as a remainder and I checked the 3. Now I need to send only 1, 2. Am I right? I don't need to send 3 again. So how can I separate a value? Simple. As simple as that, you can divisible by 10, which will give you the value, right? So that's what I'm doing it over here. Once I click on F6, as you could see, now number become 12. So now again, it will check the condition whether 12 is greater than 0. Obviously, it is greater than 0. I'm just checking the remainder. Now the remainder will come as 2, right? As you could see, remainder as 2. Already count is 1. So now divisible by 2 or not? Obviously, it is divisible. That is a even number. So the if condition will get failed. Just see, yes, it got failed. Still the count is 1. It straight away jumped into the line number 17. Now I need to get the next digit, right? So divisible by 10. Now only 1 I got it, and I check with the while condition, and then I'm just checking the remainder. And 1 is divisible by 2 or not. Obviously it is not divisible by 2, so the count will increase to 2. Okay, so that's it. So now again divided by 10. Now the number value is 0. So 0 is not greater than 0. So obviously the while condition getting failed, it will come out of the loop. Okay. So outside the while, I'll be writing if else. Okay. If the count is greater than or equal to 3, then I should print it as a true, else I should print it as a false. So now what is the count value? Only 2, right? So it will come out of the loop and it will check the condition if greater than or equal to 3 or not. Obviously the count is 2 is not greater than or equal to 3. So it will straight away go to the else condition and it will print false. That's it. Just keep the else at last. So it will keep on going. That's it. Okay, this is how you need to debug your code. So the same thing we are going to write it over here as well. Yes, there you go. Yes, so here I have done it. So once you click on run, yes, obviously here it is run and run test cases. There in your ion, it will be compile and then the run test cases. Okay. Yes, as you could see, all available test cases passed. So there are 4 test cases I mentioned, right? So there only 1 public test case will be there, remaining 3 are private, which means you'll be able to see the test case 1 or else test case 0. The remaining test cases are private ones, so you will not know what is the expected output. Okay. So while writing the logic, you need to think in all the perspective, then only you will get all the test cases got passed. As you could see here, yes, this is my input and this is my output and the expected output. Yes, it is true. And the remaining test case, as you could see, only my output is coming. In HackerRun, in Ion, it will be different. But end of the day, all these things are hidden test cases, which are private test cases. You will not know what the output has been configured. So this is the simple question. So any questions? So is it clear? Are any questions in this? If no, also yes, you can just ping it as no.
Mani, there was a question, Mani. Mani, can you hear me? Hello, Mani, can you hear me?
Yes, sorry.
Yeah, Mani, there was a question from a candidate. It says, do we have to write coding from scratch or one class will be given and we need to write the logic in it?
Yes, in simple, probably your main will be there, otherwise you need to write it. Okay, anyway, it's not a big deal. In complex, obviously you need to write it everything because you need to create one method, you need to create 2 classes. So obviously you need to write it from the scratch. Whereas for simple, just check whether if only the my class and then the main method is there or not. Otherwise you need to write it in the scratch.
And then there's another question. Will there be a console for us to do custom inputs and testing?
No, in IAM there is no customized input can be given. Okay, while writing the logic itself, you need to think in all the perspective and then you need to write it. There is no specific console to give your customized input.
Can we use collection if we want, such as array list, which is present in java.util?
That's an excellent question. Okay, so it is up to you. Okay, if you are comfortable in collections, if you think that collection is more easy than the array, yes, obviously you can go ahead. End of the day, the test case need to be passed. That's our motive. Okay, or if you want to use advanced Java concepts, yes, it's well and good, because why we are conducting this IPA to make you better in the coding, right? So obviously, if you are reading all the collections and advanced Java, and then if you are coming, yes, obviously we are happy. That's it, Esther. Do you have any other queries?
Yeah, I've just picked these 3 queries, Mani. You can go ahead.
Sure. So next, we will go for complex questions. So in simple question, as I mentioned, so mostly it will be with one loop with if else conditions. Okay, in RAS scenario, yes, there may be a need to use 2 for loops, but mostly it will be one loop with multiple if else conditions. That's it. Okay, so hardly you need to write 10 lines of code. It is not a big deal. Okay, so the thing is, whatever the question we are asking, it's almost similar to the basic Java questions which you already read. Okay, there is nothing new we are going to ask. The thing is, you need to think one more step ahead. That's it. So normally you know how to know whether the number is odd or even, but here we just have a small twist, which is we'll give a number, inside there will be multiple digits. You need to take each digit and then you need to check whether that is odd or even. That's the question. End of the day, the logic is the same. You need to find odd or even. That's it. Okay then. So let us go to the next question. So before that, let me just explain arrays. Okay, so that it will be easy for you to understand. What do you mean by array? So simply in a variable, I can store the value, right? Why I need to specifically go for array to store the value? Obviously, array is to store the value. Yes, whatever you are thinking, that's right. If you want to store, what if I want to store multiple values? For example, if I want to store 100, 200, 300, so I need to create 3 different variables, right? So and then only I can store the value. But instead, simply I can go for arrays where the multiple values can be stored in a single array, but of same data type. Okay, there are also some limitations are there. We will talk that later. So if you want to store multiple values, yes, obviously the first choice comes to your mind is arrays, right? You can ask me collections. Yes, one of your friend asked. Yes, collections are there, but that are advanced of arrays. Array is the base. So how can I create an array? For example, yeah. So let me just create an array. Okay, so let me just create string names. Okay, equal to, let me just have John. This is how you'll be storing the value. Am I right? That is a single value. What if I want to store multiple value? So obviously I cannot give a comma and then I can go for quick. Obviously I cannot give that, right? So what can I do for that is simply creating array. Okay, creating an array is almost similar to creating a variable. The only thing is, after the data type or after the variable name, we just need to give the array symbol. That's it. Okay, so Yes. So once you give this array symbol, yes, and then you can give multiple values in the open and close curly braces. So here I'm just giving John, quick, Jack. Okay, I can give 3 values store, but the thing is, all these things should be of same data type. Okay, so yes, even if I'm giving 1 also, yes, since I have given it in the double quotes, it will be treated as a string. But if it is a int, obviously I cannot, there I can go on store, right? So it should be of same data type. Okay, that is the one limitation, and this is one way of creating an array, or else there is another way, simply. So string names equal to new string. You need to mention the size of the array. So here straight away I have initialized, so straight away I have given the value. So obviously the size will be determined based on the values given. But here I just declared an array, so which means I need to mention the size. So let me just keep it as a 3, which means the array size is 3. Okay, this is two way of creating an array. Now, how the values are getting stored in an array, that we will see. That's an interesting part. So let me just open Paint for that. Okay, so consider this is my array. Okay, so this is my array. What is my array name? Names, right? This is my array. Okay, so here arrays are using indexes to store the value. Okay, so index is nothing but it is an address where the values are getting stored. It is a memory address where the values are getting stored. So I told you an example of bank locker, right? Yeah, since I have given that, we will just go for another example. Okay, so consider this one as a train. Okay, consider this one as a train, and obviously multiple coaches will be there. Am I right? Let me just split that. Okay, so this coach, let me just keep it as a 0. Okay, so obviously you'll be having S1, S2, S3, like A1, A2, AC, and different things, right? So just consider this coach as 0. Okay, and this coach as 1, this coach as 2. These are the train coaches. Okay, so as simple as that, the values will be straight away put it in each coaches. That's it. So this is known as 0th index. Okay, this is known as 0th index. Let me just run it for you. So this is known as 0th index, and this is known as first index, and this is known as second index. There'll be 3 indexes because array size I have mentioned it as a 3. In both the places, here I have given 3 values, so array size is 3. Here I have declared array, I have not initialized with any value, but yes, the array size I have declared it as a 3. Okay, so this is known as 0th index because index always starts with 0. Okay, so consider this is your 0th coach, this is your first coach, and this is your second coach. I have given 3 values, right? So the first value will be put it in the 0th index. Second value will be put it in the first index, and third value put it in the second index. Is it clear? So consider this is a train, and this is your 0th coach, this is your first coach, and this is your second coach, or else S0, S1, S2, anything you want. Okay, whatever you want, yes, you can keep it, or else let me just write it for you. S1, this is S2, and this is my S3 coach. Okay, now there are 3 passengers. Consider there are 3 passengers. Here we know the passenger's name. So what we can do is straight away we can onboard each passenger in each coach. So Jack got boarded in S1 coach. Okay, S2 coach, S3 coach. Okay, so this is the train, and each coach the associates are there, or the people are there. Okay, like Jack, sorry, this is John, right? So John, Vic, and then the Jack. Okay, so consider this is a train. The same thing is array as well. Okay, consider this train is an array. Okay, consider each coach as an index. Okay, consider each coach as an index. So index always starts with 0. Okay, index always starts with 0. Okay, that's why I have given it as a 0th index, first index, second index. Okay, so in 0th index, John will get stored. First index, Vic will get stored. Second index, Jack will get stored. Okay, so this is as simple as that. Because we know the values got stored in this array. Is it clear? So in each coach, the values, the people will be placed. Okay, and let us come to the second one. Okay, so here I have not mentioned any values because I have not initialized anything. Straight away I have declared an array with a size 3. Now, how can I store the value in it? Okay, this is one way of storing it. But the second way, the declaration and storing value in a two different steps. Okay, so simply let me just comment this one. Okay, names of 0 you can keep it. So names of 0, which is nothing but 0th index. Okay, in 0th index, yes, I can store the value. And if I want to store the next value, I need to mention it along with the index. Okay, names of 1 equal to Vic. Next, names of 2 equal to Jack. Okay, so this is how the values will get stored with the help of indexes. The same thing, if you want to retrieve it, if you want to print it from that or index. So if I want to print Vic, then what is the index? It is first index it got stored, right? So names of 1 I have to give it. So once I run this, my output will be Vic. So that's how the values will be stored and accessed in array. The values will be stored in array with the help of indexes. The same like if you want to retrieve the value from array also with the help of index only, I can able to retrieve it. Okay, as simple as that. This is what arrays. This is string array. If it is if you want to store object, if you want to create an object array, yes, I can store the value. Here it is a string array, so string values I have stored it. What if it is an object array? Then each object will be stored in each indexes. That's the difference. So we can go to the examples right away. So to avoid time, let me just, instead of writing all these things, let me just put it over there. So this is all test cases passed. So let me just go to the next one. Okay then. So here, as you could see, this is a complex question. So create a class projector with pillow attribute. So in simple, only one class and one method, or hardly two methods will be there, but only one class will be there. But in complex, there will be two classes will be there. Okay, one is a class where our business logics will be there. There is another class we need to create, that is a POJO class, which means plain old Java object, which will contain only getter, setter, and then the parameterized constructor. Okay, so let me just explain what do you mean by getter, setters, and constructors. Okay. So getters. So getters are used to get the value. As per the name, it is used to get the value, whereas setters are used to set or update the existing value. Set the new value or else update an existing value. Okay, as simple as that. Getter means to get the value, which means if I call the getter, it will give some value. That's it. And if I'm going to call a setter, I need to give some value, so the value will be set it over there. That is getters and setters. Okay, so the syntax of getters is, so public, that is my access specifier or access modifier. Hope everyone knows there are 4 types of access specifier or access modifier, right? So private, public, protected, and default. Private means if I
class member is defined as a private, it will be accessible only within the class. If it is a public, then it can be accessible from anywhere by using the instance of the class. If it is a protected, the particular member can be accessed from classes and its subclasses. Where it is, if it is a default, which means if I'm not giving any access specifier, then the default access specifier will be taken, which means within the given package. So there are 4 access specifier or modifier. So for getters, public should be there, and then the return type, and then the getter method. Open and close. So here return and then the value. Okay, so this is the syntax of getter. Okay, public and then the return. So return type is nothing but for example, what do you mean by string? Obviously everyone will say string as a data type, right? Because if I'm giving string in between a variable, am I right? In between, sorry, before a variable I will be giving string, which means that is a data type, which means what type of value a variable can hold, right? The same string, if I'm giving it before a method name, that will become a return type. That is return type, which means what type of value the method will return. As simple as that. If the same string, if I'm giving before a variable name, that is data type, which means only that type of value the variable can hold. The same thing if I'm giving it before a method name, which means the particular method will return only that type of value. That's it. That is return type. I need to give a return type because next getter method. So obviously getter method I will be giving it over here, and then it will return a value. Obviously getters are used to get the value, right? So based on the return type, it will return a value. Okay, the return value is based on the return type. Okay, whereas if it is a setter, then public same as a return type, but here there is one small change. I'll be giving it as a while. So there'll be multiple return types available, right? So int is there, double is there, string is there, float is there. Yes, even the object is there, right? Array is there. Collections also we can give it as a return type, but there is another return type called void, which means it won't return anything. Okay, if you want the method not to return anything, you just need to keep the return type as void, which means it won't return anything. Okay, so public void and then setter method. So this dot let me just keep it as name equal to, let me just keep it as a name. Okay, I will tell you what is mean by that. Okay, or else this dot variable name equal to, here also you need to give data type and then let me just keep it as a input. Okay, let me just keep it as a input, and this one is attribute. Let me just keep it like this. Okay, so void and then the setter method. So it will pass one input parameter. Okay, if you are passing any value in a method, that is known as input parameter. Okay, so obviously as I mentioned, setters are used to set the value, right? So if I want to set the value, then this dot attribute equal to name, or else this also not needed. Okay, if the attribute name and then the input value are different. Okay, better I will explain it with the example so that it will be more clear for you. So let me just create one more class here. So class, let me just keep it as a projector. Finish. Okay, so there is a good, there are 4. Okay, so what are those 4 attributes? Create a class projector with below attributes: projector ID, projector name, price, rating, and available. Okay, let me just copy and paste it over there. Okay, so why am I giving private? Because that is a good programming practice to keep all the attributes as a private one. Okay, then you can ask, obviously the question will arise, right? Sir, you said private means only it will be accessible within the class, but what if I want to use these attributes in somewhere else or nearby classes within the same package or in some other packages? I want to use this, how can I access it? Because if it is a private, it can be accessible only within the class. Then how can I access it? That's the question. Obviously, it will come, right? Yes, whatever you are thinking, that's right. The answer is, that's why we are going for getters on setters. Okay, because on getters and setters, as you could see, it is a public, right? So in Eclipse, if you want to, there's a shortcut to create getters and setters. Okay, simply right click, source, generate getters and setters. Right click, source, generate getters and setters. You can just select all, or only for particular attribute. If you want to create getters and setters also, you can choose it over here. Click on OK. That's it. Your getters and setters will get created. That's it. So as I mentioned, public return type, because projector ID is int, so return type is int, and then the get projector ID, that is a getter method, and it will return a projector ID. Okay, because projector ID is int, it will return. If I call a projector ID, it will give me one projector ID. That's it. Whereas if it is setter, as you could see, public void set projector ID, and I'm passing one input parameter. You can ask me, here I have not passed any value. Why am I passing only values in the setters? Because setters are the one which is going to set a value, right? If you want to set a value, obviously you need to give a value, then only it can be set, right? So obviously I need to pass the value to set it. So that's what I'm doing it over here. Int projector ID. Then I'm using this keyword, this dot projector ID equal to projector ID. So this is a keyword which is used to denote the current instance. Okay. Now you can ask me why, what is the purpose? Okay. So you know, this projector ID is input parameter passed, and this projector ID is my attribute. But how the Java will understand? There is an ambiguity here, right? Because both are having the same name. How Java will understand which one is a attribute, which one is the input parameter that has been sent? Obviously, there is a issue over here. So to denote that, to differentiate these things, they have used this keyword. So this dot projector ID, which means this projector ID belongs to this particular class, which means this is an attribute. Equal, after equal symbol, what are the projector ID I'm having? That is my input parameter passed. Okay. So this is setters. So getters and setters. Next, constructor. There is another thing called constructor. How can I create constructor? So, but before that, what do you mean by constructor? Constructor is a method, okay, which is used to initialize the object with its state. Okay. So that is the purpose of constructor, and constructor will have the same name as a class name. Constructor is a method, but it will have the same name as a class name, which is used to initialize the object. Okay, and its attribute with the required state. Now, how can I create it? Okay, so there is a shortcut over here, but in Eclipse you can use all these shortcuts, but in Ion there is no other way. You need to write it on your own. Okay, but I would say until you are master in this one, okay, just try to write getters, setters, constructor, everything on your own, so that it will teach you a lot of things. Obviously, here simply with the help of IDE, I can generate getters and setters. But there are, if you are writing it, you can learn access specifier or modifier, return type, how to create an object, yes, how to return a value, this keyword, how to pass input parameter, yes, all these things you can learn over here only if you are writing it on your own. Okay. So same as source, generate constructor using fields. That's it. Okay. So as I mentioned, class name and constructor name will be the same thing. Okay. So, but one class can have multiple constructor. But there is one small thing. Okay. A class can have multiple constructor, but of the data types, I mean, whatever the members we are passing, right? There should be a difference in it. Either the number of arguments should be different between one constructor and another, or else if the number of arguments are same, then the data type should be a different one. Okay, in either one, yes, it should be. Then you can have multiple constructor in a class. Okay, so this is how we need to create getters, setters, and constructor. So here I have already done that. That's what they have given it over here. Create a class projector with below attributes: projector ID, projector name, price, rating, available in the only 3 options: Amazon, Flipkart, and Tata Click. Okay. And the above attribute should be private, right, getter, setters, and parameterized constructor as required, which we have already done it. Okay. Next. Next, they are asking us to create one more class, my class with main method. Okay, so as I mentioned, there will be 2 different classes. This is a POJO class, which will contain only attributes, getters, setters, and constructor. Now we need to create one more class. That's what I have done it over here. Okay, so create a class, my class with the main method. Yes, these 2 lines, which are sufficient. Okay, so next, implement one static method. The method name they have given it, find maximum price by rating in solution class. Okay, so sorry, that is a my class. Implement only one static method, which means one class which contain 2 methods. One is main method, second one is a user defined method, and there is another class which will contain only getter, setter, and parameterized constructor. Now, what we are going to do? Okay, so this method will return the maximum priced projector object from array of projector objects, whichever has a rating greater than the given rating and which is available in Tata Click. Okay, yes. So as I mentioned, this is array of objects. Okay, it is not like array of strings or array of int. It is an array of projector objects. Okay, array of projector objects. So let me just read the question first and then I will explain. If no projector with the above conditions, so they have given 2 conditions. One is we need to find the maximum priced projector. That is our objective. But for that, they have given 2 conditions. One is they will be giving one rating as well. They will be passing one rating as well. And whatever the object we are finding for the maximum, right? That particular object has the rating greater than the given rating. Whatever the rating we are passing, the object rating should be greater than the given rating. That is one condition. Second, which is available in Tata Click, because as I mentioned, available in 3 different online platforms, right? Amazon, Flipkart, and Tata Click. In the question they have asked, which is available only in Tata Click, they have asked, because there will be 2 conditions we need to check. We need to get the rating and then we need to compare it with the whatever the input parameter rating they have passed. Second one is the available in should be Tata Click. Okay, that's the question. If no projector with the above conditions is present in the array of projector objects, then the method should return null. Okay, if the condition is not satisfied, none of the objects are present in the array of objects, then we should return null. As simple as that. And they have given note as well. No 2 projector will have the same price, which means since we are finding the maximum price, they have given no price will have the same value. Then all the searches should be case insensitive. Okay, so the string search, there will be 2 ways, right? One is 2 ways we can compare string values. One is equals and equals ignore case. Equals, which means exactly should be the same. For example, here let me just have string name 1 equal to Jack, string name 2 equal to Jack. Both are Jack, right? But let me just give a if condition over here. Now, how can I search equals or equals ignore case, right? So name 1 dot equals, let me just keep it, and then let me just keep name 2. Okay, let me just print false. That's it. So even though both are same, as you could see here J in capital, but here J in small. If I'm using a equals method, what will happen? It will return false still, because it is not exactly the same. Okay, if you are using equals method, then even the cases should be the same thing. Or if you think that only the value is more than enough for you, you don't need to check for the cases, then you can go for equals ignore case. Okay, you can go for equals ignore case, which will exclude the cases, which means case insensitive. So equals ignore case, which means whether it is a small letter or capital letter, it doesn't matter. If the values are same, it will return true. Okay, that's the difference between equals and equals ignore case. Here they have asked us to search for case insensitive method, which means we need to use equals ignore case. Okay, then the above mentioned static method should be called from the main method. Okay, whatever the method, it should be called from the main method, and the main method should print the projector ID from the returned object if the returned value is not null. Else it should print no such projector. If there is any maximum price projector that has been returned, that we need to print the projector ID from the object, returned object. Otherwise, simply we need to print a negative message, no such projector. That's it. If you are printing 1001, which means that is a projector ID. That is the question. Next, before calling these static methods in main, use scanner object to read the value of 4 projector objects referring attributes in the above mentioned attribute sequence. You should not change the sequence. That is what they have mentioned. Okay, it should be exactly the same sequence. We need to get 4 projector objects. Okay, we need to get 4 projector objects, which means each projector will have a different value, right? Each projector will have projector ID, projector name, price, rating, and available. Am I right? So same like there will be 4 objects, which means 4 set of value are there. From the 4 set of value, we need to find one set which will have the highest price. Okay, that is the question. Hope hope the question is clear for you, right? Next, read one input parameter value. Sorry, one int parameter for capturing a rating value, because we are passing one rating as an input parameter, right? We need to get it from the user. Okay, then. So let me just explain over here. Okay, so consider this is a projector array. Okay, so consider this is a projector array of objects, which means which will contain objects. Okay, so let me just create one more as well. Okay, yes. Now they mentioned to get 4 objects. Am I right? Scanner object to read the value of 4 projector objects. Okay, so each projector will have 5 values: projector ID, projector name, price, rating, and availability. There are 5 values in each projector, and we need to get 4 set of values. Okay, that is what we are doing it over here. So here I'm creating a array of projector, because simply earlier we have mentioned the string, right? Which means the array is string type. Here it is a projector, which means array of projector object. That is what we have done it over here. Projector proj equal to new projector of 4, because they have mentioned the size as 4, right? 4 parameter object. So the size is 4. Now I need to get 4 set of value from the user. So I'll be creating an object for the scanner. Next, for loop for int I equal to 0, I is less than projector dot length. Okay, so based on the length, the loop will run, and then I plus plus. Since here I am giving it as I value 0, because index always starts with 0. Okay, so now I need to get each value, because each projector will have 5 values, right? So projector ID next int, projector name is of string, so next line, price is of int next int, rating next int, string available in also sc dot next line. Okay, as simple as that. I need to get 4 values, but here as you could see, we are giving extra sc dot next line. Okay, for which we have given an explanation over here. Okay, so whenever you are getting a number, okay, whenever you are getting a number from the user, after that, if you are going to get a string value, okay, the number might be int, or number might be double, or number might be float. Whenever you are getting a number, after which you are going to get a string value, in between you need to give a sc dot next line. Okay, so otherwise what will happen means it will take the next input also as a same input. Okay, so it will take the both inputs as a single input. Okay, for to differentiate that, you need to give a SC.next line. Is it clear? Whenever you are going to get a string value after a number, you need to give a SC.next line before that. So here int projector ID is int. After that, I'm going to get a projector name, which is a string. So in between SC.next line. Likewise, here also after a rating, I'm going to get a string value. So SC.next line. So the same thing in the instead of given rating, if it is a string value, then outside the for loop, I need to give the last value here is int, and after which here I'm going to return a string value. Outside also I need to give a SC.next line. Now what I have done is proj of I. So projector array of object, right? So I'm mentioning the index I equal to new projector. So here I'm creating a object over here. Here I'm creating an object. I'm just calling the constructor over here and I'm passing all the input values as an input parameter. Okay, I'm calling the constructor because, for example, here as you could see, 1001. What do you mean by 1001? Everyone think that that is a projector ID, but that is not. Okay, so instead of projector ID, if you are giving Z, then in the Z variable, I'm storing a 1001. 1001 is just a raw value. Okay, it is not a projector ID. It might be employee ID. It might be a roll number, right? It might be a first four letters of credit card as well. So anything it might be. Okay, doesn't mean that if I'm storing it in a variable that is become a projector ID. That is not. Okay, here I'm passing all the values over here. Here it will call the constructor over here, right? This is where I'm setting it in the value. This dot projector ID, which means this projector ID is an attribute present in the projector class. So projector ID equal to whatever the value that has been passed. For example, here 1001. And here this is Epson. So the second value is Epson. Third one is 30,000, right? So the price is 30,000. Rating is 5. And available in is Tata Click. Okay. So this is where only after calling the constructor, the values will become the actual variables. Okay, until then that is just a raw value. So I'm creating a one object. Okay, and that object I'm putting it in the proj of I, which means this is my projector array of object, right? So this is my proj of 0. This is my proj of 1. This is my proj of 2. And this is my proj of 3. Okay. So first 4 values, right? So let me just so let me just take 5 values and let me just put it in. So in 0th index, I'm creating an object, right? So as per the coding, I'm creating an object and I'm putting in the proj of I. I value is 0. So in the proj of 0, the first object will be, which means the first set of value will be stored over here. Okay. So likewise, the loop will keep on running. So the second set of value, right? 1002 Bank, 40,000 Amazon, that will be stored in the second coach. Just consider the train. Okay, next third will be present over here and the fourth will be present over here. So there are 4 set of value, which means each object will be stored in each indexes. Okay. So now what is the price? 30,000, 40,000, 80,000, 70,000, and they have given one rating as well. Okay, that is what next we are going to see. Once, yes, only 4 values because the array size is 4. After that, the loop will get completed. It will come out of the for loop. After that, they asked us to read one int parameter for capturing rate value. That is what I'm done. I'm doing it over here. Now I'm calling the method find maximum price by rating. I have already created, and I'm passing this entire array of objects and then the given rating. Okay, here in the method I have passed the entire array of objects and then the given rating, which means this array of object now contains 4 set of value, 4 set of projector value, and I have passed one rating. Okay, now I need to find what is the maximum value in it. Okay, for example, consider the rating they have passed is 3. Okay, it should be greater than the given rating, right? So greater than 3, what is the maximum value? So if it is a greater than 3 and it should be available in Tata Click, that are the two conditions, right? So it is available in Tata Click, so rating is greater than 3. It is not available in Tata Click, leave it. This is available in Tata Click and the rating is 5. And this is not available because it is in Flipkart. So only two objects, I mean two set of values are matching, right? The if conditions. Now we need to find the maximum in it. What is the maximum priced? 80,000, right? Which means 1003, right? So that is what our output is. Is it clear? Hopefully now you understood the question and everything. There are four set of values. We have stored it in an array of objects. In that they have given two conditions. One is the rating should be greater than the given rating. They have given the rating is 3. So whatever the rating we are comparing, that should be greater than 3, which means these first three objects will get filtered because the fourth one is 3. So first three objects will get filtered. Next, it should be available in Tata Click. So here the second object will get eliminated. So first object and then the third object are a match. Now in these two, we need to find the maximum price, which is 1003, 80,000, right? So that is what we are finding. So the same thing, if we want to do it in the coding, how can I do that? Okay. So the return type is projector object, right? So I'm creating an empty object over here. Now I'm just considering the integer.min value. Okay. So I'm just taking the lowest value in integer. Okay. This will give the lowest value in the integer. Okay. So integer.min value. Or if I want to take the maximum value present in the integer, then I need to give integer.max value. As simple as that. So integer.min value, I'm just taking the lowest value and I'm just considering that as a maximum price. Why? I will tell you. Because how can I compare it? Obviously, I need to take any one index value and then I need to compare it with the other index value. That's how we used to do, right? That's how we can manually do this, right? The same thing. I'm taking the lowest value and I'm trying to compare it. Okay, I'm taking the lowest value and then I'm trying to compare it. Okay, so for int I equal to 0, I is less than projector length, because I need to get into the each indexes, right? I need to get into the each index and then only I can able to compare. So I need to iterate. So for that I'm using a for loop. For int I equal to 0, I is less than projector dot length and then the I plus plus. Okay. Now they have given two conditions. Am I right? So first one, if project of I, because proj is an array of projector objects, right? So proj of I dot get rating, which means the I value is 0, right? So proj of 0. So in proj of 0 dot get rating, I'm using getter to get the value. Okay, so dot get rating. So what is the rating? 5. So 5 is greater than the given rating. Given rating is 3. So 5 is greater than 3 and proj of I. Again, proj of 0 dot get available in. So proj of 0 dot get available in is Tata Click. So Tata Click dot equals ignore case of Tata Click, because they have asked in the question, it should be available only in the Tata Click. So equals ignore case of Tata Click, I'm giving it. Whether this is clear? Two conditions they have asked. One, we need to get the rating. Second one, it should be available in the Tata Click. That's what I'm doing it over here. There are four set of value which is present in the array of objects. So I need to get the each index value and then I need to apply it with the condition. So proj of I, which means proj of 0 dot get rating, which is 5, greater than the given rating is 3, and proj of I dot get available in is Tata Click dot equals ignore case of Tata Click. So since both the conditions should be satisfied, I'm using a logical AND. So the condition getting true. So next what I'm going to do is the minimum value, the lowest value in the integer, I took it as a maximum, right? I'm comparing it with the 0th index price, so that always that first condition will get true. This is one way of doing it, or else simply you can just take so proj of 0. Okay, proj of 0 dot get price also you can have it as a minimum value. Okay, you can keep that as a minimum value, I mean the maximum value or minimum value I mean maximum value, and you can compare it with other values. That is fine. Okay, either way that is fine. Okay, either you can straight away take the 0th index value, or else simply consider the lowest value and I am comparing it with the minimum value. So obviously I'm taking the lowest value and I'm comparing it with the 0th index value. So obviously the 0th index value will become a maximum value, right? So if proj of I dot get price is greater than maximum price or not, because in max price that is the lowest value in integer, obviously the condition will get true initially. So now what am I going to do? Proj of I dot get price, which means 0th index get price is 30,000, right? So 30,000 I'm considering that as a maximum price. Is it clear? I'm taking the lowest value and I'm considering it as a maximum, and I'm comparing it with the 0th index value so that I can get the 0th index value as the maximum one. So since the condition always gets true, so the max price equal to proj of I. Earlier max price was integer or min value. Now max price was what is it? 30,000. Okay. Now the entire object I'm putting it in the empty object, whatever I have created, right? Because the return type is object, projector object, right? So proj of I, the entire object I'm putting it in the projector, because if that is the maximum, I need to return the entire object. Next, it will go for the next iteration. I becomes 1. Now proj of 1 dot get rating is greater than the given rating. Given rating is 3, so 4 is greater than 3. Obviously, it is getting true. And proj of I dot get available in dot equals ignore case of Tata Click, but it is not available in Tata Click. So what will happen? The if condition getting failed, so it will straight away go to the next loop, next iteration. It will not get into the if condition, so it will go to the next iteration. Next, I becomes 2. Proj of 2 dot get rating, which is 5, which is greater than 3, and proj of I dot get available in is Tata Click, right? Tata Click dot equals ignore case of Tata Click, the condition getting true. Now proj of I dot get price is 80,000. Now 80,000 is greater than the maximum price. Now what is the maximum price? 30,000. That is what we have already stored. Now 80,000 is greater than maximum price. Obviously yes. So maximum price I'm updating as proj of I dot get price. Now maximum price will become 80,000 now. Then this second index object I'm putting it in the projector. Okay. Next I'm checking the last condition. So obviously Flipkart, the if condition won't get failed, and then it will go to the next iteration, and there is no such index after that, right? Also here the condition will get failed, so it will come out of the for loop and straight away it will return the projector. That's it. This is known as a bubble sort. Okay, we will be taking each index and then I will be comparing it with others. Okay, here first I take the lowest value and I'm comparing it with the 30,000. So obviously this 30,000 0th index value will become more. So maximum I'm keeping it as a 30,000. And in the object, I'm putting it the proj of I. That's it. Okay, I'm putting it over here. Next, the condition will get failed. Next, 80,000. So now I'm comparing it with 80,000 whether it is greater than the maximum, because maximum already 30 has been stored. So 80 is greater than 30 or not. Obviously 80 is maximum 30, right? So now again the max become 80,000. So here proj of I means earlier it was proj of yes. So here object equal to proj of 0th index, right? Earlier. Now max is 80,000. It got changed. So object equal to proj of 2. That's it. So now we got the maximum and I'm returning the entire object to the main method. In the main method, this is where I have called it, right? So I'm receiving it in another projector object and I'm checking whether it is null or not. If it is not equal to null, from the returned object, I'm printing the projector ID, else I'm printing the negative message, no such projector. That's it. Now, once I click on run test, my all test cases will get passed. Okay, so only one is public, remaining are all private one. So this is how your ion assessment will be, one simple and one complex. Okay, in the complex only one method you need to implement. Okay, so if it either it might be a minimum or maximum or sum, okay, whatever it might be. Okay, based on that you need to write the logic. These things are same for all the things, because you need to get the input from the user, you need to call the method, and then based on that you need to print the output. These things are same, and these things are also the same: class, getter, setters, projector. And one more thing, here there is no need of setters, as you could see. Just read the question. If setters are not needed, you don't need to write the setters, because in ion you are writing it manually, right? So you don't need these setters, so it will save little time for you. Okay, because only 120 minutes will be given for you for both the MCQ and SPQs. Okay, so you don't need to spend much of time on the setters which we are not going to use. Okay, you don't need to write setters. Just read the question. If setters are not needed, straight away write getters and then the constructor. That is more than enough. Is it clear? If any doubts, yes, you can ask me now. Yes, sir.
Yes, Mani.
Any doubts?
Yes. Sir, why can't we take integer dot max value directly instead of integer dot min value?
That's what I told you, right? Because how we are manually find the maximum, we need to take, obviously we need to take the 0th index value, we need to compare it with the other index, right? So I need to get the 0th index value right away. Either I can get it, as I mentioned, proj of 0 dot get price. Yes, I can get it right away. Or else what I can do is simply I can take the lowest value, okay, and I consider that as a maximum, and I compare it with the 0th index value. So obviously the 0th index value will be maximum when I compare to the minimum value. So I can get into the 0th index. See, that our ultimate motive is we need to get it to the 0th index. Either you can straight away do like this. Straight away proj of 0 dot get price. Yes, you can have that as a maximum price instead of integer dot min value, and then you can compare it with the other index. But the thing is, here you need to start the index with 1 in that case, because even if not, that is not an issue. Okay, but it is an unnecessary loop will run. Okay, because 0th index value you are taking it and you are trying to compare it with the 0th index value itself, right? So you need to start the index with 1. Otherwise, simply what you can do is you can take the minimum value in the integer and keep it as a max and compare it with the 0th index value. So obviously the 0th index value will be maximum than the lowest value. Now we got the 0th index object. From that, again I can write the business logic. That's it. Hope I have answered your question. If not, yes, you can just ping me up again. Yes, the next.
Just a minute. Sir, what if project array 0 does not follow the given conditions? The logic will be wrong. PROJ and an array bracket 0 is there.
Yes, you're right, but they have clearly mentioned read the values for 4 projector objects, right? They already asked you to read the value for 4 projector objects, then why there is no value in it? Obviously, it doesn't make any sense, right? So they have given it, so this logic will work. If not, then initially you need to check whether the array is empty or not, and then only you need to get into that. Otherwise, right away you need to return that. Yes, that you can do. Okay, you can just first check whether any values are present in the array initially, and then you can do all these things. Yes, the next.
Instead of doing bubble sort, can we implement comparable in the projector class?
Yes, that's what one solution, I mean one answer you can attain in many ways, right? So you can ask me why I cannot use for each loop, or why I cannot use some other way to use it. Yes, obviously you can use, but bubble sort is the basic one, right? So everyone can understand easily. So when compared to comparable and all, so that is the reason I took the bubble sort. So that manually while explaining also everyone will able to understand easily. That is the reason. If you want, yes, you can use other methods as well.
So
Yes,
I
yes,
think
sir.
technical questions. There is one question which says that. Manik, have you explained them about that question pattern, the test cases?
Yes, that's what I mentioned. There will be 4 test cases in each question. One test case is a private, remaining 3 test cases are, sorry, one test case is a public, remaining 3 are private, which means one test case you will be able to see the expected output and your actual output. For others, you cannot. And the pattern, yes, I already explained the MCQ and SPQ, everything I initially took it over here. The MCQ pattern and then the SPQ pattern. Yes, yes, so that's already done.
Okay. See, this question and the solution, let me post it in the community candidates. I'll post these questions and with the solution in the community, in the Explore Common community. Maybe by tomorrow I'll post it. And if all test cases does not match, but if I write some code, in that case, do we get any marks? So the
No
marks,
marks.
yes.
That's what I mentioned earlier. Whatever the logic you are writing, it should clear all the test cases. Then only you will get full mark. If partial test cases passed, then partially you will get mark. For example, test case 1 and 2 having 5 marks, which means only 1 and 2 are clearing, you will get only 20. If no test cases passed, then your score will be 0.
Okay. So there is no copy paste. You have to
Yes.
type your code.
In ION, you cannot copy and paste. Okay, it is almost like how you are performing, how you are attending government assessments. Okay, it is same as that. Okay, you cannot do any copy paste, or you cannot even bring any code inside the ION center.
Okay. So there were, yeah, there are a few, the practice past IPA practice question papers which are available on your dashboard under your common community product. There are questions, 3 past IPA questions. You can practice those questions. So see, in the exam, your platform will not be as the one the faculty explained now. This is a HackerRank platform, but in the exam, it will be a ION platform. So there you can't copy paste. You'll have a time of 120 minutes. Both MCQs and the coding questions together, it's 120 minutes. The question pattern is already available in the common community. There you can find the question paper pattern. Can we switch between the sections like MCQ? See, once MCQ is done, then it goes to the coding. Okay. And is there mark splitting for the code? Has Mani explained the marks is based on the test cases. So as he told, you'll have 1 public and then 4 private. So based on that, marks will be split up. Okay. I'm just going through a few questions, Mani. If there are any technical. In the advanced question, complex question, will there be only question based on OOPS concept, or there will be questions based on DSA?
That's what I mentioned. Only based on OOPS with arrays. Okay, we won't be asking any advanced Java concepts over there.
Yeah, it's if you really prepare well for this exam by knowing all the foundational concepts of OOPS and then the faculty has explained really well about how to understand the question and how to code for both simple and complex. You can easily crack this exam. And there are 50 MCQs. So the pattern is also there in the community. So please log in and check.
Only one more thing I want to add, Esther. Let me just share the screen.
Okay.
Sorry for that. So because in many associates, you guys think that clearing IP is very tough on all these things. Okay, let me just explain that. Okay, so just consider one simple question. Okay, consider one simple question. As you could see, as I mentioned, if else conditions with one loop. In rare cases, two loops will be there. Otherwise, it is as simple as that. Okay, either it might be string manipulation. Yes, obviously it will be there. Okay, so it is pretty much easy to clear simple one. Okay, so obviously everyone know how to create a loop and how to create a if else condition. The only thing is you need to build the logic in it. That too, we are not asking any complex ones. Okay, it will be very simple ones. And in complex question, on total, you could see like there will be like 90 lines of code on all these things. Trust me, this projector class having right getters, setters, and I told you based on the question, setters are not needed. If you're not writing setters also, only the attribute name which we are already giving it. Getters, you know the syntax. It is a replica of one thing and then one constructor. It is same for all type of questions, right? So instead of projector, if we are calling any classes, okay, some other projector, instead of projector, if I'm having ship, then ship ID, ship name, price, rating, and then that's it. Or if I'm going for laptop, then laptop ID, laptop name, RAM, price, rating, that's it. Okay, only those things will be vary. Remaining getters and projector, I mean constructor are the same. Then let us come to the main method. Main method also it is same for all the questions, literally. Okay, so only the array size may differ, or even the array size you may need to get it from the user. Okay, and the scanner class one for loop which is same. Okay, whatever the attributes you need to get it from the scanner. This line is a repetitive line. Okay, and after for loop you are getting it. Next you are calling a method and printing a output. Okay, this is also same for all the questions. The thing is, out of 89, okay, only these many lines are you are going to write. Literally from 36 to 46, which means you are going to write only 10 lines of code. You are going to write it on your own, right? So remaining are all, it is almost like a template for each question. Whatever the IPA you are taking, it is almost same. So only if you are writing 10 lines of code, you are clearing IPA. Okay. So this is as simple as that. You don't need to think too much. So I need to write 90 lines of code in Python. I can write it in another 30 lines of code. I can complete it. Doesn't matter. Okay. Whatever the language, only thing is you need to build a logic, especially in IAM. I mean, in an IPA, only 10 lines of code, you are going to write it on your own. Remaining everything as a template, we are already, I mean, as Esther mentioned, we are going to share the solution as well, which means you know the template already, you know what type of question also will come. Okay, don't think too much. If you think that you are going to write 100 lines of code, obviously it will be difficult and you will not be able to clear the IPA. Just think in this perspective. Only 10 lines of code I need to write. Obviously, an engineering graduated associates, obviously you can write 10 lines of code, because once you come into TCS, obviously you're going to write 100 lines of code or 1000 lines of code. Here we are asking you to only write 10 lines of code, which you can easily do that. We believe in you guys. Okay, that's why we are putting so much of effort in Explore courses and we are conducting sessions as well. And I'm wishing you all the very best for your upcoming IP assessment. Yes, sir. Over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Mani. Thank you so much for your efforts. You've taken time to explain. This is the first time we've conducted a session like this, pre mock assessment. So I could see a lot of candidates, their approaches like what benefit? Why do we need to write IPA? That is the major, most of the candidates have asked this question, where repeatedly we are putting efforts to help you improve your coding skills, because once you join TCS, you have a 8 week of ILP training, and then you'll be placed into projects. So everywhere it is, the base is coding. So when has Mani said, here you have to learn very little basic foundational concepts which will really help you, in your training as well as in your when you're placed in a project there where you have to write a lot of code. Everywhere it is, about coding only. So Java is the basic. So I request, instead of looking into other factors like will I get the incentive, will I get this benefit, will I get, see, all that, yes, join letter, yes, definitely you will get the joining letter for sure. Apart more than that, explore learning, we would definitely consider your explore learning. How active are you in explore? And then are you putting efforts to prepare for this IPA? What is your score in IPA? These are the factors which we will definitely consider. Okay, and candidates who have not registered for IPA, which means you would have got your offer letter, maybe in the recently you would have got, or the survey would have got expired. You would have not registered for the IPA, right? So for such candidates, have there are few past IPA question papers. Go through that, and I would be posting hackathons. I think. Mm, next week after Diwali. So please take up this hackathons. Next IPA is not yet planned as of now. And if there's an IPA, yes, I would post it on the common community. Okay. So, instead of you posting queries asking about JL, what benefits, I would very sincerely encourage you. Please go through the. Maybe I'll try to post this recording in the community once I download it. So go through these coding questions, practice this basic concepts. I can really guarantee your ILP will be very effective. Else, there will be difficulty for you in your ILP. You have to put more efforts. There'll be lot of assessments, assignments, a very, uh, to almost 8 to 10 weeks of training where you have to put so much of efforts. Now there's a period where you can learn, prepare well, and then you can be ILP ready. Then there you can really, understand all these concepts very easily. You can crack your assessments. So that is why TCS is putting this efforts to help you candidates. Even before joining TCS, we take up sessions, post so many information on the community, and we help you, to mold yourself before coming to TCS. So don't, ask about the benefits. Why should I do this? What is the benefit? Instead, today itself. Anyway, now everybody are in a holiday festival mood. I wish you all a happy Diwali. So be safe, and looking forward to meet you all once you join TCS. Joining letters we will issue. We are issuing. It's an ongoing process. We can't be issuing JLs at a shot for everybody. So onboarding is going on. Phase by phase, we are issuing JLs. Meanwhile, we are also considering these factors of candidates who are, very active in Explore, who are uh, participating in IPAs, taking up good scores. All these are, considered. Business requirement, unit mapping. Uh, so there are a lot of factors considered for onboarding. This is also one of the factor. So please go through all your concepts, come for the IPA, take up your IPA, attend it, just give it a try. Work hard, come and give it a try. We'll see how much you will score. Okay. People who've not received your hall tickets, please mail to Explore support team. There are a lot of queries going on, but maybe I can consolidate and then post FAQ. Um, can I start coding first and then attempt at, see, 1 to 50 will be your MCQs, 51 and 52 will be your coding. Finish your MCQs first, and then you will have a lot of time for coding because you have 120 minutes. total 120 minutes. So quickly finish your MCQs. The first 5 will be know your TCS, then about business skill, and then you'll have Unix questions, MCQs, then you'll have SQL, PLSQL. They're all 5 questions. Java MCQs, you'll have 15 questions, and then comes your 2 coding questions. So it's better you complete your MCQs first and then concentrate on your coding, which is the 51 and the 52 questions. Okay. I'm just checking if there are a few important questions where I can. So this question and the question which the faculty explained today, let me post it, tomorrow on the community. What else? Candidates who have already taken the IPA and have scored 80. Yes, good, very good. But still, you can give a try, get exposed to all these questions. You can test your programming skills. You're able to crack this exam. You can just give a try. Any more questions? So to know the IP exams platform, it's not HackerRank. I'm clearly explaining. It's not going to be the HackerRank platform. The platform is Ion platform. So log in to explore and launch this past IPA question papers course. There, you go through the question, try to practice over there. Okay. If anyone having joining on the same day, on November 7th, please give priority to joining and please do join. Okay. Make all the yeah, give importance to joining and prepare for your joining. Marks distribution, it's the pattern is mentioned in your common community. You can check that. HackerRank test link is available for practice. It was available last Friday. Now it is not available. Maybe I can reopen that for you in your holidays. Maybe you can just go through that HackerRank test. Let me reopen the assessment for you, HackerRank assessment. Okay, we just have 3 minutes more. I think I've answered most of the queries. It's not about answering the queries, but I've given you good explanation of what this IPA helps you all about and what TCS is trying to help you before you could even join TCS. Rescheduled candidates can definitely take up IPA if you have registered for that and if you've received your hall tickets. See, without hall tickets, you cannot come and write IPA. You must have your hall tickets, okay? Mostly. Okay. So that's it for now. I hope you're all clear. So again and again, I'm encouraging you. Please don't miss this IPA. You will definitely know the importance of this after you join TCS. When you're in your ILP period, you will know the importance of IPA and how these sessions are beneficial. So please do come take up this IPA, and that's it. There's no more questions. Okay, okay, candidates. Wish you a happy Diwali and stay safe. Thank you. Thank you, Mani. Thank you so much for your efforts. Thank you, candidates. Wishing you all the best. We look forward to meet you in TCS.
Thanks, Esther.
Yeah.
Happy Diwali to
Bye.
all in advance.